So this was a prototype flame that I posted on Reddit and on Instagram, and this is made using transparent resin, some magic colour ink and some vitrail glass paints. But it's not perfect, so it looks nice, but when you put an LED inside, it looks great with a pink LED, but with a white LED it looked absolutely bloody awful. So I printed out a whole bunch more of flames of different thicknesses and with purple resin rather than just clear resin. So this is some transparent purple, and to do that I just added some magic colour ink to my transparent printer resin until I got the colour that I wanted. These are all hollowed to different thicknesses, and basically what I've been doing for the last few days is just testing LEDs out and testing different hands out to see which one looks the best. So I've got two here which I've blacked out of the hands and basically made them ready so that they could be connected to the model at any point, because one of these will be used basically. So one of them's slightly darker resin than the other one. Like I say, for me, out of all the LEDs that I've tried, I bought some more LEDs just for this project. So I bought a couple of these sets. I got some 3mm ones and some 5mm. And the best LED for this flame is the pink 5mm. I'm not going to light it up now because of all the lights, it won't even be visible. So yeah, I'm going to be painting that today and seeing what we end up with. Like I say, you're going to need, if you want to follow this exact sort of formula, you're going to want to pick up some magic colour inks. You can buy these in individual colours, or you can buy them in a set. So I think I just bought the set. Well, I know I did, but I bought singles on top of that bit. And the same with the vitrail glass paints. So they come in a set. And yeah, they're pretty cool. In this set you get gold, white, black, purple, blue, turquoise, green gold, pink, brown, crimson, orange and lemon. And that's green gold is one, not green and gold obviously. They also do two other sets. So you get the moon and the prism. And these are really cool. Like I say, you can do effects with them that you just can't do with any other type of paint. They also do them in smaller sets as well, or like I say, they do them in singles. But the singles are slightly bigger and they cost about £5 each, whereas you can get one of those whole sets for about £15, £18 or something like that. I will use the other sets on some other projects, but yeah, I just thought I'd show you them while they're there. You can get a medium by Peebo for changing the concentration of this, so you can make it like a lighter shade of purple, but I've never used that medium. I normally use a cellulose thinner. So this is what I use to clean my brushes after I've been using this, or to clean out the airbrush. And when I was cleaning my brush, I just thought, well, if it thins it down like this, because I let it dry out in the pot and it was, it dried perfect, it was all shiny and looked like a stained glass window. So I just thought, if it's going to dry like that, that means basically it hasn't damaged it. It didn't dry gooey or sticky because it had thinner in there. The thinner just evaporated and left me with the glass paint. So that told me that I could airbrush with them. And yeah, they airbrush really well, which means the other mediums as well will most likely airbrush as well. But this is a normal printed lightsaber, and this is one that's been airbrushed with a thin coat of glass paint. So yeah, you can, like I say, you can do some really cool things with the glass paints. This LED here is just a flickering LED, so I think I bought 5 or 10 of these. They're just red, and normally what I do is I'll just dip that in some black primer, and that will just be on the circuit somewhere inside the model, so it won't be seen, but anything that it's connected to will flicker. So you don't have to worry about the transparent paint getting on the black parts, just it's transparent. I'll just zoom this in a bit, but I don't know if it's distorted or not. So I'm going to go from dark to light. And I'm just going to sort of follow the sort of contours of the flame, the outside edges. So strong, more purple in the gaps, in the shadowed under area, something. So. I'm going to do the same with this one. So the magic colour's dried off now, and I'm just going to give it a light coating of the glass paint. And I'm just using a really old brush for this. So just, you don't have to be too careful with this. Just, you don't want it to run, because that will ruin your day. And you want to try not to get much on the matte black, because you're just going to have to paint over that again, and it's back and forth. The good thing is this paint's quite thick, so you can manipulate it. It's not just going to run unless you really overdo it. Well, at least my hands aren't shaking now. I was really shaking at the start of this video, but my tablets have kicked in. The morphine. And so now what I'm going to do is add extra paint to the inside of these sort of grooves and stuff. So. So now I'm going to leave this to stand in polystyrene, but before I do that I'm going to hit it with a hairdryer, and I'm just going to keep spinning it around, and that's going to be enough to dry the outside top layer and stop it from melting down. So I'll be back in a moment. And now for the second one. And for this one, I'm basically just going to do the same thing again. This stuff's kind of self-leveling, but obviously if you put too little on, then you will get brush strokes. But as long as you put in, you know, a fair, you'll find out when you use it. You'll know what you'll see. I think it's basically just like an epoxy resin. I'm just going to fill up these gaps. I'm not filling them up, there's an extra thick coating. So I'm just going to set this one. So I'm just going to use some of that solvent to clean this brush. Right, so I'll just show you how well this thins down. But yeah, this is glass paint in an airbrush. Give me one of these sticks. Not enough to inside. So yeah, I was just showing you that it's pretty easy to work with. A bit stinky, but I will put some pictures up of the finished results of what they look like dried with an LED inside and on their own. And yeah, that's about it. That's how to make the basic flame. And obviously there's a few other things you can do to change things. So if you wanted to, you could use something like some of the pink or orange or one of the other colours to basically mix in there as well, and they will bleed together. So you could have some sort of streaks of pink on the outside edges, and it will still look more or less like this. But when you put the LED inside, those the colour change will be obvious or less obvious, depending on what kind of look you're going for. So yeah, that's the vitriol glass paints and how I use them. Anyway, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you later.